What's up guys, Killer B, and earlier today I was playing some LittleBigPlanet Vita with my good friend Shoker 5000. But today I actually want to talk about the PS Vita and remote play with the PlayStation 4. Now for me this is something I'm actually really passionate about. I made a indie video as well, and I have a similar opinion with remote play in the PlayStation Vita. Now if you don't know what remote play is actually using or streaming sort of a connection between the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 4. Now you actually had that in the PlayStation 3 already, but you can only do it with about like 20 titles, and none of them are really that good. With the PlayStation 4, you can actually do it with every game. And I think I remember reading somewhere that developers making games for the PlayStation 4 are actually required to make remote play possible with the Vita. Pretty much this means that if you own a PlayStation 4 and a Vita, you can stream the game to your Vita sort of outside your living room. You can do this with a Wi-Fi connection, and I don't think it's possible without Wi-Fi. It says on the PlayStation website you can do it with a wireless or local network. Pretty much means you're on Wi-Fi and you can't really do it over long distances. To the point, what I really want to talk about is how does this add value or detract value from the Vita? I frequent N4G, it stands for News for Gamers. It's a gaming website where articles are posted. And over the years, I've noticed it's becoming increasingly PlayStation fanboyish. And I'm getting really discouraged at some of the articles I'm reading because many people suggest that remote play will quote unquote save the Vita. Now I'm not saying PS4, the future of remote play with PS4 won't increase sales for the Vita, but will it really actually contribute anything to the value of the system? Many of these people argue that with a PlayStation Vita and remote play with PlayStation 4, you're actually getting more games on your Vita. I would come out and say that is complete bullcrap. It's because when you buy a PlayStation Vita, you're not actually getting PlayStation 4 games on your Vita unless they are cross-buy. The same thing is said for the PlayStation 4. You cannot get access to Vita games unless they are cross-buy. The way you can actually get games, air quotes, on your Vita with a PlayStation 4 is if you use remote play. But let's actually think about how much it will cost you to get one game on the Vita through remote play. For remote play, you need, of course, a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation Vita, which is $600. And we'll assume there's a $5 sales tax, which brings your total to $630. Also going to make another assumption here that you're buying a physical copy of a game, which is going to run you another $60 with $3 sales tax. So your total comes to $693 for a PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and one PlayStation 4 game, which you will use remote play with. We have not bought in PlayStation Plus, and we have not bought in a memory card for your Vita, which would run you probably another $70, not including tax. Include PlayStation Plus or a Vita memory card, we're looking at roughly over $750 for remote play. Which, I don't know about you, but I prefer not to pay over, we'll assume you don't buy a PlayStation Plus and memory card, $693 with 5% sales tax, which by the way is fairly conservative. Now what is the alternative to that? Well, we could get a $40 game, or we could get at the worst a $50 game for the PlayStation Vita, which, I don't know about you, but it sounds a lot better to me than $693 for remote play. I'm not going to deny remote play is a cool feature, but as someone who only owns a Vita and does not plan on buying a PlayStation 4 for a couple of years, at least until the price drops or more and more software is announced, remote play adds nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. And in fact, hurts you as a Vita owner. That is, if you only own a Vita. I would say this only because it is becoming increasingly clear that the Vita is only meant to be a companion device to the PlayStation 4. Now that, to me, is absolutely infuriating. Absolute bullcrap, number one, because they're making it a $200 accessory to the PlayStation 4. Why? What is enticing about a $200 accessory, which is essentially a second screen? The only way this could be good, I think, for Vita owners is if people who buy the PlayStation Vita along with their PlayStation 4 buy software and sort of increase the demand for software in the system, which might in turn bring more third parties. That's one benefit. But I don't think in the long run making the Vita a $200 accessory for the PlayStation 4 is going to add much value to it. I think the people who are willing to buy both are in the minority by far. I said just a couple seconds ago that Sony thinks the PlayStation Vita is a perfect companion device to the PlayStation 4, and if you look at rumors, there's actually a rumor that there will be a PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita bundle for $500. I don't know if it's true. It might be. We'll find out. The problem is Sony has already admitted, okay, so they're pretty much, by doing, or sort of saying the PlayStation Vita is a companion device to the PlayStation 4, they've admitted they're really not going to bring software to it. They're going to use the excuse that people on N4G have used and say, wow, we're bringing you remote play, we're bringing you more games, when in reality they're not, because you can only get access to PlayStation 4 games when you buy a PlayStation 4, and we've already done the math. It's $693. If you watched E3 this year, you would have noticed Jack Tretton on the stage indicating, actually using a reference for a stat, that the software attachment ratio for the PlayStation Vita is 10-1, with 60% of sales going through the digital, or sort of PlayStation network, the digital sales. I'm going to be frank when I say there's absolutely no way Sony is losing money on software for the Vita. They might be losing on first parties, but they're probably making that back on third parties. Because as Michael Pachter stated, digital sales are pretty much pure profit for Sony, right? You've cut out the middleman and you've only reduced it by $5. Only does Jack Tretton's statement show that pretty much demand's high for the Vita, he shows that they're probably making money. So why is there really a push for remote play? I don't understand that. Shouldn't you be bringing software to the Vita? You know, you pretty much just said it. Demand is extremely high.
PS1 and PlayStation mobile games are included. It's clear that people love Vita once they get their hands on it. In the US, Vita owners have on average purchased more than 10 games, and Vita customers also reflect the strong appetite for digital downloads, with nearly 60% of all Vita title purchases made through the PlayStation Store.
That was Jack Tretton at E3 pretty much stating that software attachment rate on the Vita is extremely high, and people demand software for the Vita. And it sort of highlights Sony's incompetence when it comes to handhelds, because especially with Sony Computer Entertainment of America, they can push consoles really well, but outside of Japan, Sony really doesn't seem to understand how to push handhelds. The only real answer is when you want to sell hardware, you generally supply software, and I say that in the indie title, and I don't think indies are necessarily the long-term solution. And so once again, remote play just shows Sony's solution is not necessarily good in the long term. They need to bring big software to the system. I think, for instance, if they brought one big game to the Vita, one big game, maybe like a BioShock Vita, which was supposedly rumored to have happened, but Sony Computer Entertainment of America didn't act on it because they're not the brightest people in the world. For instance, if you sell 1 million copies of BioShock Infinite, BioShock Vita, sorry, and for instance, if Sony paid them, let's say 10 million, 20 million to make the game, they make 25% just because it's on their platform. If they sell 1 million at $49 or $39.99, they get their money back, or they get roughly half of it back. Now, of those people, they're going to have to buy memory cards, so Sony would make probably most of their money back there. They'd also probably buy additional software. Sony would make more money. And so really the solution here is not remote play, which is an extremely overpriced accessory, pretty much limiting the Vita in its use, in the software that will come to it. The solution here is big software. That pretty much sums up the video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't had me on PSN yet, my username is bothebo, B-O-T-H-E-B-O. And lastly, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.